Responsive web design versus responsive server side, right? So you had someone here who gave a talk on responsive web design. And I'll let you know that when I was giving a talk, and I was at Netflix, and I was giving a talk somewhere, and I said, yeah, we don't use responsive web design at Netflix. Oh, you'd think I'd shot the Pope or something, right? I mean, totally, I'd offended some people. I got hate tweets and stuff like that. Like, how dare you, you know? So, you know, responsive web design, what I say to our engineers is everything we write should be responsive, right? That just should be one of our hygienes. So if you write, you know, if you're writing, doing a web page or a tablet or whatever else, you know, you kind of focus there or whatever, you should be able to pull up on the mobile, it should display, and you should be putting that in the face of the product manager and the design, because oftentimes product management and sometimes design is not thinking about responsive web design. We are more so on the engineering side. So a forcing function is to take that mobile and stick it right in their face and say, hey, this is what it looks like on mobile, and then show them as it resizes and adapts, and they go, oh, I get that, it's cool, you know, and then they work with you, right? And most of the time, if we take the lead and we show them what we can do with responsive web design, we get them to sort of buy in, at least start thinking about it. When we did the checkout experience, you know, we did it so it looked good on mobile, tablet, and desktop. The design team was not pushing this. It was the front engineering team, my team. They were like, you know, we'd show it to them, they go, oh, you hadn't thought about that, you know, and it's like, you know, so we got them to buy into it. Now they're, you know, totally on it, and they always talk about, well, what's it look on mobile, you know? And I've seen this over and over again. Again, this is the power of front-end engineering, is that we own the bits that are life bits, you know, the live bits, and so we can, you know, we can be that forcing function. So if it's content, responsive web design makes absolute total sense. If it's an app and has a certain context on a device, you're probably not going to take the same bits and just responsively render it on a smaller device. You know, you're going to probably want to do some kind of server-side detection. We use something called Warfel, which is a device detection library, and you want to deliver different bits. You also have to think about the actual performance, you know, as far as how much you're downloading. You get the marketing pages, sometimes they have a lot of crap, and they want to just responsibly web design it down. Now you could scale down, pick different size images and stuff like that. So you need to do some kind of adapting to the phone. Now you might do this responsive server side, as Luke Wroblewski calls it, which is basically on the server you're doing device detection. You may be delivering a totally different set of templates for that device. You still should be using all the same services and all the same, you know, framework and stuff like that as much as you can. But don't be afraid to do that. I guess this is what I'm saying is, don't blindly apply religion like responsive web design and forget about the experience. It's a tool in the toolbox, but everything you write should just be responsive, right? You know, it's just good hygiene. You know, it just makes sense. Thoughts on that? Does that make sense? Cool. Let's see, and then this is what, you know, Luke talks about the RESS. Now, mobile first. Have you heard mobile first? Yeah, you had to be on a rock if you hadn't heard of mobile first, right? So, you know, we had a large product that was about to be shipped out the door that it's been a good while working on, and the head of product ended up going to Yahoo, along with Scott Thompson, the CEO, went to Yahoo. David came in, new president, new head of product. They looked at the product and they said, this doesn't even work on mobile. And it's our new wallet experience. And guess what? People probably want the wallet on their mobile more than they do on a laptop, right? So mobile wasn't even considered in developing that product. My engineers, the ones that are on my team that were there, this is before I joined, had raised this concern till they were blue in the face, and the design team kept saying, why do we want to do responsive web design? That doesn't make sense. Why do we want to? Totally did not understand. Didn't even know what responsive web design was, for one. So they didn't understand mobile first, any of these sort of concepts. So we actually had Luke coming in he's done a series of 8 half-day workshops on mobile first to get people educated so people understand it. But then as soon as you start doing mobile first, everybody starts, they start spinning what they think mobile first means. And mobile first has lots of meanings. So there are a lot of myths that sort of came up. And, some teams thought that they just designed for mobile first and in isolation of all other things, right? And some people thought that it meant building for the lowest common denominator like feature phones. That's what they thought mobile first meant. And some people thought that, we always build one experience that adapts across screens, but sometimes you're actually doing distinct experiences in different channels, like we did with TV and mobile and tablet with Netflix, or like in the checkout experience. Right now with our new checkout, we just adapt down to the mobile. But I can guarantee as we go forward, we're going to want to take that mobile experience, and we're going to want to iterate on it in that channel and milk it for all it's worth, because that's where the money comes in on the checkout experience, right? And you may do something really different, obviously using your mobile number versus your password, you bias that more than you on a mobile device, etc. So there's all kinds of things you may want to do. It means, we're creating web, since we want the experience to adapt to other channels, but actually it's not really necessarily tied to a technical solution. It's really more about the mindset of taking the constraint of mobile. This is where lean comes in, right? Doing a minimal viable product, it forces you to kind of think, instead of the graceful degradation which responsive web design kind of gives you. Mobile first kind of says go the other way. Start with that smaller set, decide what your minimal viable product is, and go up from there. Design up from there. There's some great, articles showing like university websites, and what do they show you? Luke has this in his talk. You go there and you see the president's face. You see like the campus. You see, you don't see things like, what are the courses? What are the schedule? How do I get there? On a mobile though, you're forced to actually pick those things that are the most important. It's kind of like a good discipline. And also, some people thought mobile first meant that you launch mobile experience first, and then you do the other experiences, right? And then others thought that the mobile team was the only one that deals with the mobile experience, gesture and touch and all that. But gesture and touch have gone beyond, and are going beyond that. They're getting into laptops themselves, so it kind of spans the whole thing. And some people thought that mobile first will limit your creativity when you're building experiences, but actually it kind of forces a forcing function to think, a little more crisply about your experience.